All right, so that might have been a long time for me, but it was barely, sorry, it might have been a long time for you, but barely any time for me. So let's go ahead and take a look at how we do that. Okay, so the first thing we need to figure out is, all right, say I've got two values, right? How do I actually swap them? That's our first thing. How do I swap two values in an array? So let's just start from the beginning, right? If we look at this, the first value is going to end up in the last value, and the last value is going to end up in the first value. So how can I just start with that? Let's just swap those two values, okay? Right, so you might think, okay, array of I is equal to, so let's go ahead and say array 0, array dot, oh, let's just copy the last value over into the first value, right? Length. Oops. That's 1, right? And let's just see what that does. That gives us 3, 1, 2, 3, right? We copied the last value. We took what's inside the last thing, put it in this memory location. So that's pretty nice. That was useful. But now how do I take the first thing and put it in the last thing? How did I take the 0 and put it in there? Well, the issue is that I've just overridden 0. Uh-oh. So how can I get around that? Well, what I'm going to need is an extra variable, and I've got a slide here, actually. Right? They've got that over here. Right? Suppose you want to swap values. Right? A is equal to B, B is equal to A. So we're storing 35 in A, and then 35 in B, right? So now it's going to be 35 and 35. So actually what we need is a temporary value just whenever we want to swap things. You need something to hold that original value, you overwrite it, and then you take that value that was overridden and store it in the value that you want to swap with. Okay, so in that case, let's put a line up over here, int temp is equal to thing in index 0. Take the last value, store it in index 0, and take index 0 and store it in the last memory location, or last index. So now if we do this, oops. Oh, why? Because I just copied over here. I need to move temp over. Obviously, that was just me testing you. All right. So that's pretty cool. So basically we've succeeded in just doing the outer layer, but we have to do this as well. If we look inwards, well, we flip the outermost stuff, and now if we go inside, 1 and 2 are also swapped to become 2 and 1. So 0 and 3 got swapped to become 3 and 0, 2 and 1 got swapped to become 2 and 1, or 1 and 2 got swapped to become 2 and 1, right? And actually it turns out if you can extend this for basically anything of any length. So let's go up to 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? First thing you want to do, if we want to reverse stuff in place, what we can do is we can swap the outermost stuff. So 5 and 0 get swapped. Then 1 and 4 can get swapped. And then 3 and 2 can get swapped. Isn't that something? So take a moment and try to do this. What we can do is that we can take, so basically swap the thing at index 0 with the last thing, swap the thing at index, so start at I and swap it with array.length minus 1 plus I, and then keep going inside, right? Use the last, you can use the last video as a guide for the way this needs to be iterated through. But there's a key here, which is that basically we swap this one we swapped this and this, and we swapped this and this, and we swapped this and this. Right, this and this. But now you don't want to continue past the midway point. Why? Well, because then we'll start unswapping everything, because we'd go swap this one with this one. We'd say swap this with this, and then this with this, and then this with this, and that would get, and we reversed it, and that would unreverse it. So you got to stop at the midway point. All right. So now take a second to do that, and I'll start coding it up. So watch the video or try it yourself. Okay. So we're going to say int temp is equal to the ith thing. So we're going to store the ith item. We're going to do, then we're going to take the ith to last item and store it in index 0. And then we're going to take temp and do that over here as well. 1 plus, we just change it to what we had over there. Okay, but remember, we don't want to go over the entire thing, so we don't want to just go through up to array.length. We want to go up to the halfway point. Let's go ahead and run this now. 2110. Uh-oh. What did I get wrong? Oh, it's always index 0 over here. Right? Can't just copy paste so blithely. That's cool, right? And what happens if I left out this divide by 2? It goes and swaps it, and then it unswaps it. Here, we can print out the progress for you to see. System SQL out. See, it went and it swapped it, and then unswapped it. So that was a bit of disaster. So here, is the correct solution. All right, now we'll finally get to using these things in arguments.